In animation, colorful rounded fabric squares converge, spiraling upward. Ability Summit.
Hi everyone, I'm Amanda Silver and my pronouns are she, her. I'm the head of product for Microsoft's developer
Amanda
tools
has dark
and
hair and is
GM
wearing a
for the
black
first-party
jacket.
engineering systems that all Microsoft developers use. I'm so happy to be here today to share some of the amazing work Microsoft is doing to create inclusive and accessible experiences for developers. For as long as I can remember, my personal career mission has been to help developers and their teams unleash their creative potential and to use technology to achieve more. That mission is what brought me to Microsoft 22 years ago, and it's what's kept me here ever since. I got recruited to join Microsoft right out of college as an entry-level PM for developer tools. But my journey to computer science was not a straightforward one. I really struggled through my first year of college. My CS coursework was dense, and I couldn't find my focus, and by the end of my second semester, I had professors encouraging me to switch my major to architecture or art history. For whatever reason, that actually emboldened me, and I became completely committed to succeeding in computer science and learning how to code. And I even became a teaching assistant because it felt important to help people who didn't think or create in a mainstream way over that hurdle too. You know, my days as a TA are behind me, but what gets me excited to come into the office every day is knowing that I'm able to work toward that exact same mission, ensuring that the next generation of technologists is more representative of the people our products serve. Over the years, I've seen our teams iterate and improve on products like Visual Studio, VS Code, .NET, TypeScript, and the first-class engineering systems that all Microsoft developers use. Our ability to adapt and design for our customers' changing needs has kept us relevant, and we've built a large and loyal community of people who love and use our products every day. But we know there's still so much work to be done to empower developers who use our products to build their businesses, to create new systems and tools, and to teach others. As our world and our industry continue to shift, it's our responsibility to take a critical look at how developers and their teams are learning, creating, and collaborating now, and how that might evolve in the future. It's our responsibility to meet change with curiosity, to create products that work for different kinds of developers, and to put people power behind new ideas so that the next generation of engineering teams is more diverse and inclusive than ever. Earlier today, we released the newest iteration of our inclusive design guidelines. This cross-team collaboration gives us some really tangible tools to build and adapt the developer experiences for the incredible diversity of human cognition. In other words, these guidelines are going to help us make products work better for people, which is good for our company, for our customers, and for the communities they serve. We've made these guidelines available to you at inclusive.microsoft.design. And we've also been working on new features that will empower more developers by reducing friction and improving focus. Now with that, I'd like to introduce you to Mary Stevens, who will tell you a bit about how she uses Microsoft tools to create a work environment that works for her.
Hello, I'm Mary Stevens. My pronouns are she, her. I'm a senior software engineer. I've been with Microsoft for 11 years, and I work in corporate financial services in commerce and ecosystems.
Mary
I
has
have
dark
attention
hair and a
deficit
brown
hyperactivity
sweater.
disorder, ADHD, and I'm dyslexic. And over the years, I have learned that I benefit from a highly structured environment, and as my ADHD causes me to have trouble regulating my attention. Having certain structures in place help me reach a focus zone and stay in the flow while coding. I work across 3 monitors and have a very specific way I like to set up my screens, apps, Windows operating system, and even my physical environment. I mirror this environment in my office and at home. Here's what it looks like. And you can see my home and office setup are the same. even down to my small knitting project on my desk. I use Visual Studio to write services, and I keep it full screen on one of my 3 monitors. I have it set up with helpful extensions. Some of my favorites are spell check because of my dyslexia, code formatters, which help to reduce cognitive load by automating formatting, to do, which helps me remember what I need to complete, since my working memory is reduced compared to others, dark mode to help with eye strain, and IntelliCode, an AI-assisted development extension, which helps to identify improvements in my code. I have VS Code up on full screen on my second monitor for writing user interfaces. I have it set up with my personal settings and favorite extensions as well. I use Do Not Disturb to manage notifications that can become overly distracting. I recently learned about Zen mode, and it can be extremely helpful when I'm analyzing code because it gets rid of everything but the editor. It's built into VS Code, so it's a simple few keystrokes to bring it up. My third screen is saved for my other apps, like Teams, Edge, or Outlook. I usually have Teams up on this screen most of the time. Red notifications on my app bar and sounds can break my focus, so I disable them, both through each app and Windows Focus. It took a long time to get all this set up just the way I wanted, but it's worth the effort. I even have my knitting nearby to help me maintain focus by moving my hands while in meetings or waiting for builds when my brain gets understimulated. In the next couple of months, we'll be releasing a new Microsoft Power Toy for Windows. It's an AI shortcut tool for creating macros, a more technical name for shortcuts, to help developers and their teams reduce steps and repetitive tasks with the smarts of AI. Once I get my system set up exactly the way I want, I can use AI macros to create a one-step way into my focus mode and tailor it to what I need in the office versus what I need at home. Start coding. With a simple voice command, AI Macros launches a macro I wrote to open Focus Assistant, sets a timer for me, and opens Visual Studio and VS Code and Spotify so I can get started coding in a few seconds. Thank you for giving me space to share my story. Please remember, I'm only one ADHDer and dyslexic. We all experience the world in our own unique ways. I'm excited about our collective approach to inclusive development and encourage developers to work with people from the disabled community to co-create and collaborate for true inclusion. In case you're wondering, I did knit the sweater. Happy International Women's Day. Amanda, over to you.
Thanks, Mary. You know, Mary's experience is such a good reminder that developers' time is their greatest resource, and that creating environments that promote focus can help them find their flow and maximize that time. Ultimately, reducing or eliminating distractions in physical and digital spaces, like Mary has done, makes developers happier. And having that kind of sustained focus can empower them to turn their ideas into impact at scale. Now, I'm excited to introduce you to Ginny Cahey, the President and Director of Software Development at WasteWorks, which provides software management systems for solid waste disposal and recycling. Ginny is here to demo a new feature that just shipped in the latest version of Visual Studio, the Visual Studio Accessibility Checker. The checker is powered by Accessibility Insights and integrated directly into the developer environment, making it easier to detect and fix common issues earlier in the software lifecycle. Ginny, I'll let you take it from here.
Ginny has blonde hair and is wearing a coral
Thanks, Amanda.
sweater.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ginny Cahey, President of Carolina Software. Our software products, called WasteWorks, run in landfills and recycling centers all over North America. I've always been interested in accessibility, and probably the reason was my father. My father was blind during his career as a lawyer, so I've always been sensitive to that. I'm delighted to learn that Visual Studio now has new tooling to help find the most common accessibility issues. What I'm showing on screen here is a very simplified point-of-sale application that's in use at landfills and recycling centers currently. It handles charge and cash customers. It handles credit card payments. It handles a variety of materials and origins. But it looks really simple, right? Well, maybe not so simple for someone with disabilities. So let's see what Visual Studio can do to help. I have the Live Visual Tree window pinned open, and there's a new button on the Live Visual Tree called the Accessibility Issues Checker. It looks like a little man. I'm going to click on the button and see what kind of issues I need to fix. Well, very quickly, I can see that the custom control needs an automation name property to make screen readers know what to do with that control. So I'm going to add it here, automation properties name, and I'll call it customer list. Now I'll check the accessibility again by tapping the go button. Wait just a few minutes, and you can see that that control is now fixed, and I have just some more to do one by one. Now, admittedly, this is a small application with not that many controls, and a typical enterprise application for me might run to 1,000 lines of XAML or more. It's the same approach fixing those applications as this one, just one at a time, using what's available in Visual Studio. I really like this new tooling. It's going to make my applications better. My users are going to like it better, and that makes me very happy. Over to you, Amanda.
Thanks for sharing your story, Ginny. To learn more about the Accessibility Checker and how Visual Studio is innovating for inclusion, check out the link below. Now, before we go, I do want to take a moment to talk about AI. It's no secret that it's top of mind for everyone in the industry. Large-scale models like OpenAI's ChatGPT and DALL-E have captured a lot of people's attention, and they have the power to make a really positive impact on accessibility. Just yesterday, Microsoft announced a public preview for new AI features from Azure Cognitive Services for Vision. The features are made possible with Microsoft's state-of-the-art computer vision model called Florence. This AI model can recognize and analyze millions of objects like logos, landmarks, and diagrams, and generate detailed descriptions, which is a big step in making visual content more accessible. For example, Florence can describe in detail that this woman is wearing headphones and that she's playing music while standing at a deck. And that this person isn't just holding blueberries in their hand, but that they're actually placing blueberries onto a cake. These automatic image descriptions are especially helpful on social media platforms where visual content is pervasive but not typically described. I've asked Jennison Asuncion, who's one of our partners over at LinkedIn, to tell us about how he and his team are using Azure Cognitive Services to improve inclusion. Jennison?
Jennison has dark hair and a blue
Thanks,
shirt.
Amanda. Hello, everyone. My name is Jennison Asuncion, Head of Accessibility Engineering Evangelism at LinkedIn. Every day, job seekers and working professionals come to our platform to share professional updates, achievements, and articles. They're also promoting events and job opportunities. Many of these posts include an image. So when we think about our members who are blind or visually impaired, we want to make sure we include equal access to these images, because in many cases, they're an essential part of the conversation. Now at LinkedIn today, we're already using Azure Cognitive Services to address ourselves to issues of accessibility with AI. For example, we're using Cognitive Vision to add alternative text descriptions that are automatically generated. We're also using auto-generated captions across our platform. Now, while we're using AI to provide alternative text descriptions, we do encourage our members to add alternative text descriptions or to edit already automatically generated descriptions, because we know that provides better context. Amanda, when you were providing the information on improvements, as someone who's blind, I got really excited. Because I know that, for example, when people are sharing updates about events, I will be able to see or to know that Ryan Roslansky was in some of those photos. And to me, that's important. In closing, I did want to share one other exciting update. In the coming months, LinkedIn will be upgrading to Cognitive Services Image Analysis API. Back to you, Amanda.
Thanks, Jennison. I'm happy to share that this technology will be coming to Seeing AI, PowerPoint, Outlook, Word, Excel, and Reddit soon. If you're interested in learning more about Azure Cognitive Services or innovative ways to improve accessibility using AI, visit the links below. Since last year's Ability Summit, we've made significant strides toward inclusion, and there's still plenty of runway ahead, which is why we come to work every day. If you take one thing away from today's session, I hope you'll remember that being a developer is about so much more than just knowing how to code. Complicated problems require creative solutions, and creative solutions require ideas from people with all kinds of backgrounds. Engineers with physical disabilities, cognitive differences, and unique ways of making are invaluable to our products and to our teams. In short, when engineering teams are inclusive, the products they build for their customers are inclusive too. And that has the power to empower every person everywhere to achieve more. Thank you so much for joining today. I hope you're feeling inspired to take some of this tech back to your teams, and that you'll stick around for our breakout session where we'll demo more new features and discuss the many ways we're innovating for inclusive developer experiences.
Thank you for participating. There's more to experience. Explore other content experiences in the top navigation bar. In animation, an L-shaped curve of rounded fabric squares undulates softly.